Galnet News, keeping your galaxy in focus. 1st of September, 3301. In today's top stories, Antares incident links to Vice President Nigel's death. Agent Susan Monroe part of the Vice President's protection detail. Cold ice, warm trail in regards to the Kumho Crew. And Imperial Internal Security Services requests exploration data. The death of Federal Agent Monroe continues to make headlines as the case of her lover, reporter Elaine Boyd, took an unexpected turn today as several respected news feeds, including the Federal Times, received encrypted data packages. It is claimed that these were automatically sent by Elaine Boyd from a public storage server, with the instructions to be delivered if news feeds reported her death. The data apparently reveals connection between the death earlier in the year of Vice President Nigel Smeaton and the Antares incident. His death was officially declared an accident, although many at the time suspected foul play. Those suspicions are likely to rise again with the revelation that he was related to one of the crew aboard the Highliner Antares when it disappeared on its maiden flight 50 years ago. Elaine Boyd discovered details of a private off-the-books investigation by the vice president into the incident, and that he suspected it was caused by sabotage rather than drive component failure. He had already spoken to a number of now quite senior officers involved in the original inquiry. Elaine Boyd's information implied that he may have been killed to stop his investigation. In a statement, the chief editor of the Federal Times said, quote, "We hope that amongst the information Elaine has provided, there is evidence to prove her innocence in the crime she was implicated in. We are continuing to examine the data in detail." End quote. And continuing on into the investigation of Elaine Boyd, the Federal Times revealed that Agent Susan Monroe, who Boyd was accused of murdering, was part of Vice President Nigel Smeaton's protection detail at the time of his death. It already seemed obvious to many that Agent Monroe was the source of the reporter's information, but now there is a greater likelihood that she provided it willingly. Officials from the Federal Security Service insist that Agent Monroe was an unwilling participant, and they had evidence to link the agent's death to the reporter. The chief editor of the Federal Times responded by claiming that this was nonsense, and that he would not rest until the truth was revealed. And new information coming in regards to the battle against the Kumho Crew. Earlier this morning, an Imperial Navy commando unit uncovered a hidden forward command post for the Kumho Crew invasion force in the Chakiri system. There was evidence that the site has been occupied as recently as half an hour prior to the raid, as ice was found in a glass in an abandoned command center. DNA from the stray hair follicles was analyzed by a forensics team. The results were a match for Archon Delane. One of the commandos commented,
"It's frustrating to think that we missed apprehending the most wanted man in the galaxy by mere minutes. But every day, we come a little closer to getting our man."
And lastly, in Imperial news, in an unprecedented move, the Imperial Internal Security Service, the organization responsible for domestic security throughout the Empire, has issued an open contract for exploration data. Agent Cope of the IISS made the following statement.
The Imperial Internal Security Service is conducting a comprehensive revision of its information networks, and is therefore in need of as much fresh data as possible. The more information we have, the more accurate we can make our database. We thank the community in advance for their cooperation with this effort.
The request was preceded by rumors that the organization was actively gathering information about the group known as Emperor's Dawn. When asked about the rumors, Agent Cope said,
"I can assure you that any allegations concerning interest in specific individuals or groups are entirely groundless. The IISS has a remit to analyze any available data for useful intelligence, and the exploration data we have requested will be subjected to this analysis. That does not mean, however, that this operation has been designed to gather information about Emperor's Dawn."
This refutation was somewhat undermined, however, by an article published this morning in the Imperial Citizen. In the article, the Citizen claimed to have intercepted an IISS communique in which the Emperor's Dawn was specifically mentioned. It stated, quote, "Our recommendation concerning Emperor's Dawn is to gather fresh astrological data and to filter it for information about the group's movements and bases of operation. Our belief is that the organization has no more than half a dozen bases within inhabited space, but it would nevertheless be advisable to accumulate accurate data," end quote. The request is being managed by the Semis Empire Party on behalf of the IISS. Independent pilots interested in participating should deliver exploration data to Mackenzie Relay in the Semis system. And that's the Galnet news for today. This has been Chip Washington. Tune in next time to keep your galaxy in focus.